Hey, what's up, guys? So everyone knows that people around the world move to the Philippines and similar countries because of the low cost of living, the good weather, better opportunities to find a partner. And these people move here because they want to move here. They plan it out and they make it happen. Well, I met a guy that lives here in Cebu City. He's been living here for 5 years and he had no intention of ever living in the Philippines whatsoever. Although he was vacationing here once per year, that's as far as he was ever thinking it was going to go. As he put it, he figured he would just stay in New York and wither away, working crazy hours until he retires. But what happened to him changed the course of his life forever, for the better. He looks at it as the universe put out a sign for him to make a big change and take that leap of faith to get out of that rat race that he was in the US. It's a good story about his life here, what happened to him, and he talks about the pros and the cons of living in the Philippines for the last 5 years. Here we go.
Living here about 5 years, and then I probably visited 5 years in a row on vacation before I moved here.
So what made you decide? What in those 5 years of visiting, what was it that made you think, all right, I just got to move here? What am I doing?
Oh, well, this one's easy. This was easy. It's probably not the normal, because I met someone during one of those trips and started a relationship and had a child. I didn't have any kids, so I looked at it as, I always thought I would have kids, but so I'm like, well, maybe this is where I'm meant to have a kid. I don't know. Like when I met my child's mother, at first it was on one of the times I was on vacation here, so I didn't think, I didn't think that far in advance, like, oh, this is going to be the one. We're going to be together, or anything like that. But it started heading that way. It started progressing that way. But of course, I knew she lived here. I lived in the U.S., so I wasn't, the whole long distance relationship thing. I wasn't, definitely wasn't really used to that. So I didn't know how it was going to all come together. But I look at it as this was meant to be.
Yeah.
Had a child. Took a buyout from where I worked in the U.S. And I was moved here about a month after my child was born. I was living here.
So you looked at it as like, okay, this is my life direction now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at it. It was a sign that I'm supposed to be here, because I certainly wasn't going to leave.
Wow.
I wasn't going to be the deadbeat dad like the stories you heard. Like I heard those stories before, and I'm like, wow, what a shitbag.
Terrible.
Some are financially supporting them, but some of the girls say, never again, never heard from them again. No money, nothing.
That's it.
So I was just like, wow, what a,
Did you come back with the focus on trying to make this all work together?
Yep, that was exactly my focus. Was I was gonna, we were gonna be a family, but that was my focus, to support my child and have a relationship with the child's mother, and didn't work out with the mother.
Yeah.
My child lives with her mother in a different condo in Cebu City, and we're basically co-parent.
What are some things to consider when it comes to trying to meet a Filipina? Are there pitfalls that you learned about? Are there pathways to better relationships that you've learned over the years?
A good girl, then.
A good girl, yeah.
Yeah, then I would stay off the apps.
Okay.
The girls on there are not the good girls, from my experience, and other guys have told me the same thing, that you're setting yourself up for failure if you're meeting a girl on Tinder or what's the other one, Bumble. Well, I would say this: if a girl is, the more forward a girl is in this country, I would say the bigger the red flag.
Yeah, the more cautious they are.
Yeah.
The more reserved and hesitant they are.
Absolutely. The more hesitant they are, the more likely that she's probably a good girl.
Right, what about the Philippines in general, as far as the pros and the cons?
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to Western quality and Western service, I mean, you're definitely to need to lower your expectations, I would say. So there's an adjustment period. I think the big one for me, what I notice is, like, if I'm in the line at a grocery store here, I mean, these cashiers, they're not trying to get through each customer as quickly as possible. Whereas in the U.S., it's like you see them, going as fast as possible. Whereas here, they're just like sitting there. Each transaction is 5-10 minutes, and these people got like 3 items, and I'm thinking, what? This is as fast as you can. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. They're, having conversations with each customer. I don't know, but it's you just have to realize there's going to be a wait, and you're going to have. That's just an expectation. Obviously, you go to big cities, there's going to be traffic, but here there's traffic, and there's no. appears to be no rules. no rules on the road.
Yeah.
There's just kind of like whatever happens. You expect the unexpected, and people, they're not honking their horn. Like when someone, cuts each other off, they don't look at it as they just got cut off. They look at it as that's the norm. So no one's honking their horn, getting mad, or someone's doing a U-turn, an illegal U-turn in 4 lanes of traffic, and then just, made all these people stop. In the U.S., I mean, they would, they'd be going crazy, or they wouldn't even let them do it. They wouldn't let them in. Whereas here, they're just like, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, wow, this would never happen in the
never
U.S.
happen. But you're right. It's not like road rage though.
No.
Like people are they roll with it.
No, that's the norm. So it's not like where in the U.S. if that happens, that would be an exception to the rule. Like, how dare you do that? And that's disrespectful. Here, that's called traffic.
Yeah.
That's
right.
it. And I don't know if you've seen it. Like, I'll see these motorbikes where it'll be like 4 or 5 people on a motorbike. Three or four of them are kids like 5 and under.
That's right. Newborn babies.
No helmet, nothing. I'm just like, is this like you things you just you don't see in the U.S. So I'm afraid, like, I would hit one of these poor people. So I'm like, I just go in a grab. I don't even look. I just look at my phone and play like a game or something while wherever I'm going to, so I don't have to see all of the craziness. And then that works out for me. So I never get stressed about it because that's what I do.
All right, so living in Cebu, you're here obviously because you have a child here.
Right.
If you didn't, let's just say you had full flexibility,
Okay.
would you live in Cebu City, and would you live in the Philippines?
Well, I thought about that. If I didn't have a child here, if I didn't have a legit reason for moving here, 100% I'd still be living in New York. Same terrible job, same terrible weather, and probably doing the same thing that I always did, which is work 50, 60, 70 hours a week because I had no, wife or kids, so I, felt that's what I should be doing. Binge drinking on the weekend and wondering why I'm living here in this weather, the winter weather, which is absolutely horrible where I lived.
So you needed a boost. You needed something to kind of say, all right, now's the time. It's my calling to go.
This was to me. It was all a sign. I was literally looking for a reason to get out of that area, and then this was just like, you need a sign. Universe said, here you go.
And you jumped on it.
And I said, here, yep. And then they offered my company offered a buyout, like a few months before, 3 or 4 months before I ended up leaving. They offered a buyout, and I said, everything's lining up.
Wow.
Gonna pay me to leave. My child's gonna be born, coming up. Been at this, horrible job for 12 years, killing myself with working, sitting all day. I'd be, this is it. When I look back at the job that I had, I look back at it now, and I feel now like I was betraying myself by having that job and living where I lived. Even though I had friends and family there, everybody's getting older, they've got families, they're got their own lives, and I'm just sitting there. I felt like wasting away working, insane amount of hours, and really accomplishing nothing other than banking money. I definitely wouldn't have been living in Philippines, but I feel I would have been much worse off if I didn't have my child, because I would have been in the same terrible job. And the biggest thing would be my mindset is completely different now than what I was when I was just work.
What are the top 2 or 3 things about the Philippines, and the worst 2 or 3 things?
Yeah, I would say the best thing is the people, how they treat foreigners.
There is a little bit of this privilege thing. You almost feel that sometimes you can get away with things.
Yeah, there's definitely, I would say, a heightened level of respect.
Yeah.
That certain situations you will get that respect versus their own people.
Yeah.
And I've been through several situations where it's like, my child's mother, I sent something out for dry cleaning or something, and she got it back and it was dirty. And I'm like, oh, this is dirty. So she took it back, and they didn't believe her. Right. That it was, they said they're trying, you're just trying to scam me. And she's like, no, I live at Marco Polo. My boyfriend's a foreigner. You're just scamming. And then I actually showed up, And all of a sudden, okay, sir, okay, ma'am, we're sorry, so sorry, so sorry.
I always say like cost of living.
That would have been my next one. After
Yeah,
the
go
people would have been is cost of living. I mean, I even know foreigners that are probably living on less than $1,000 per month. What I tell people is this: you can live here as cheap as you want, and you can live here as expensive as you want. All depends on what your what lifestyle you want to live. Yeah, dating wise, 100% is a pro. I haven't been in the U.S. in 5 years, so I haven't obviously dated any Americans within 5 years. But my experience before that wasn't. And I don't want to say all American women are bad, because they're not. I've dated some women that were, I've dated good girls. And really it was probably on me that I wasn't ready at that time to be in that a serious relationship, I guess. But I mean, if I was to like go back now, I mean, the best I could probably hope for is, I don't know, 40-year-old with 3 kids. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Your options are much
right. Whereas here, I'm literally seeing 80-year-old men with a 20-year-old girl that's childless.
Yeah.
And they're married. So it's completely different.
What is food like in the Philippines, man?
It's I can sum that up in one word: rice.
Yeah.
Every meal, they eat rice.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
It's something in rice, something else in rice, something different in rice.
Yeah.
It's just I guess because it's so affordable, it's so available.
Yeah.
It's as one Filipino said, rice is life. Like you can make pesto garlic rice or different things, and I had to like show them show what I like. You can make this, but they're just like happy with the white rice, and if you ask them, they love it.
Yeah,
they can't get enough of it. It's I don't know.
Handfuls.
Yeah, they don't even, not even utensils, just and they just can't get enough.
Devour it.
Yeah. If you're out in the province, I mean, they're not the pickiest of eaters, and so if you are, there's going to be you better suck it up while you're out there.
Have you tried balut?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. I was heavily intoxicated, which is why I was able to try it. And actually, it's funny. It was on one of the times I was here on vacation, so I videoed it, and actually at the time, and I ended up posting it on Facebook. Everyone thought it was funny, but first bite was okay, and then the second bite, that never got swallowed. I ended up having to spit it out in the road. But
I never tried. You've been there, done that? You're done with the balut?
Oh yeah, one time was done. And you know what? And you know who talked me into it? There was this Canadian guy that I'd met maybe a day earlier. And I asked him, I said, "Did you ever try this balut? Everyone here says it's so great." I go, it looks like it's disgusting. He goes, I used to think that too. He goes, now I love it. And I'm like, what? Really? I'm like, okay. So then the next day when I had opportunity, and I was hanging out with people, and there was like this, because you always get it on this roadside vendor or whatever. That's who ends up selling these. And I was intoxicated, and they were one. I'm like, you know what? This is probably the best time to try it. This guy says it's delicious. Maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe I'm all wrong about this. I'm gonna try it. No, I was right. It's as disgusting as it looks.
All right. So last words. Let's back up to when you had the calling to come out here. If you were to speak to people that are on the fence about making a big leap of faith on things?
I would say kind of like the first time I was thinking about coming here, it was just to get out of my comfort zone, do something different. I said, you know what, worst come to worst, I won't like it, and then I'll know and I'll never come back. Turns out I loved it. I had the best experience ever my first time I was here. And actually, super surprising experience. We'll say I won't get into details, but great experience the first time I was here. And so at that point I was fucked. It was like,
you can't share this great experience?
No.
All right, you're making me wonder. But it was amazing.
I can't share it on camera.
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to be that great of a vacation.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
How old were you?
41, 42.
Single, 41. Okay.
Yeah.
I pretty much know.
Yeah. At least come here. At least come here and visit. Like I said, I know it's a long trip, and I thought to myself, yeah, this is a long flight, but it totally changed my life. And if you go, it probably could change yours too once you see all the pros. So I would give it a shot. I mean, you've got nothing to lose by coming here. Trust me.
All right, thanks for watching that one, guys. As Shane mentioned in the video, I always say the same thing. doesn't hurt to come out, check it out, scope it out, see if it's a good fit for you. If not, you can always go back, change course. But if you have your ducks in a row, especially your finances, sometimes you got to take a leap of faith, take some chances, enjoy your life. Thanks for watching that one, guys. Appreciate it. See you in the next one. Bye.